Hi guys, D Love here. Thanks for stopping by. Today I want to talk to you about making God marvel. If you didn't know that you can make God marvel, you can. And we're going to talk about that today. And I'm going to share with you a couple of ways that you can begin, be on your way to making God marvel. So let's get started. In the Bible, Jesus marveled at two things. He marveled at a town's unbelief, and he marveled at a man's great faith. So, putting that in perspective, it's like three ways to look at it. Jesus marveled, just the fact that he marveled, period. He marveled at someone's faith. And that Jesus, Jesus marveled. He marveled at something other than what you have God. He created the heavens and the earth. He created everything that we see and that we marvel. We marvel the oceans, the mountains, the nature. We marvel the beauty within each other. We see God's handiwork and we marvel. It says that when Jesus sees our faith, he marvels. When you look up that word marvel, it says to be in wonderment, to be in awe of. And to think that God can be in awe of anything other than what he created. That is amazing. To think that he can be in awe of your faith. But on the other side of that, it says that he marveled at unbelief. So he can also be in wonderment and be in awe of your lack of faith. So he can either be on his throne and be in wonderment of your faith, like this boy got it going on. This dude got it going on. He loves me, he believes me, he trusts me. I am in awe of his faith. She loves me, she believes me, she trusts me. I am in awe of her faith. On the other hand, you can have God on his throne in bewilderment of your faith. That he's sitting on his throne like, what? He don't love me? You don't trust me? You don't believe me? You can have him in astoundment. Like you got him tripping that you don't believe him. Where do you want to be in relation to God regarding your faith? And it's not about the faith per se. It's not about having faith that the goal is not to have great faith itself, but the goal is the sheer joy of knowing that having great faith pleases God. And that's what we want to do. We want to please God. And when we know what pleases him, he says without faith it's impossible to please him. And so the point of this is to let you know that your faith matters to God. He says that your faith is more precious than gold. And so he values your faith. And he wants you to value your faith. So I am here to help you, to encourage you in the faith, to gird your faith, to strengthen your faith in the Lord. And I'm just going to share with you quickly 3 things that can start you on the path of girding your faith and strengthening your faith in the Lord. And the first one is, if you want to strengthen your faith in the Lord and begin to get to a point where you have faith that marvels God, you have to spend time with Him. That's number one. You have to spend time with the Lord. You can't trust Him when you don't know Him. So you have to spend time with the Lord, and whether that's reading, praying, listening to His Word, going to church, being under the teaching of someone who loves God. The second one is reflecting. Reflect back on your walk with God. Reflect back even before you knew God and you saw His hand. And once you're saved, you can look back and see when God moved in your life, even when you weren't a Christian. Reflect back on those things and realize, you know what, Lord, if it weren't for you, Lord, I wouldn't be where I am now. So reflect back on those things and give God thanks. And that will help build your trust in Him as well and gird your faith in Him, because you'll look back and say, wow, Lord, I didn't even realize that you were there. But you were there and you kept me. You moved in my life. You moved on my behalf. And that builds your faith. That builds your trust in Him. And thirdly is fellowship. Get in communion with other believers. It matters so much that you fellowship with other believers who may be a little more mature in their walk with the Lord than you, who can help you, who can encourage you. Get with other believers. If you are by yourself, though, if you don't have any other Christians who are seeking God like you want to seek God, because sometimes maybe you're not the only Christian, but you're the only Christian that's seeking God. So sometimes you can be the only Christian, or you're the only Christian that's seeking God. And that can be hard. And so if you're the only Christian who is after God's heart right now, and you feel like you don't have anyone to fellowship, whether it's in the workplace, at school, if you're going to college or what have you, even at home, if you don't have anyone to fellowship with right now, guess what? You go back to number one. You spend time with the Lord. Right now, the Lord says that no man shall stand before you all the days of your life. And that's to say that you can't count on anyone all the time. You can only count on God all the time, anytime, all the time. You can always count on God. And so when there is no one else to lean on, when there is no one else to call, He's always there. So if you're in a situation where you don't have other Christians to fellowship with, then you refer back to number one and you spend time with God. And I will tell you, He will comfort you. He will speak into your life. He will speak into your heart. He will encourage you that even though at the moment you're alone, it won't be for long. And even if it's, despite how long it is, He is there. And He will lift you up. He will encourage you. So I just wanted to go over this quickly today to let you know that you have the ability to make the God of heaven and earth marvel at your faith. And my prayer is for you to strive to make God marvel, to want to please Him to the point that He marvels at your faith. And so I thank you for your time, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.